Imagine you woke up one morning and the demand for your business had increased by 10x overnight. What about 100x? What might sound like a dream scenario can quickly turn into a nightmare if you don't have reliable partners to handle that growth. This is exactly the situation that the French health platform Doctolib found themselves in at the onset of the pandemic. They went from 1,000 daily video consultations to 100,000. In a very short space of time, they had to onboard a vast number of new doctors to meet this demand. In just one weekend, Doctolib created a self-onboarding program, enabling 30,000 practitioners to join their platform in 1 month. And they serviced 1 million video consultations in March last year alone. Hello, I'm Eileen O'Mara, and I'm responsible for Stripe's revenue and growth in EMEA. I'm so delighted to share with you our EMEA update, along with Matt Henderson, our business lead, and Chola Akinlade, Paystack CEO and co-founder. So you heard about our investments for all of our customers in the keynote with Patrick. Well, we're excited now to update you on what we're doing locally to enable companies here in EMEA to grow and accelerate their business. And Europe is incredibly important to us. Stripe is European. Our founders are European. And Dublin, which is also my home, was recently announced as our second global headquarters. Europe is the fastest growing region for Stripe. 3/4 of Stripe's markets are here in Europe, representing nearly 1/3 of the global GDP. Our European users are our top priority. And by really focusing on Europe, it has allowed us to double the number of large enterprises we support, helping large enterprise companies to shift online or adapt new business models. We are now the largest enterprise payment provider in Europe, and that is thanks to you, to all of our users in the region, and we are so grateful for your partnership. Our reliability and infrastructure investments enable us to help millions of companies like Doctolib scale up and accelerate their business growth quickly. Now, I might be biased, of course, but some of our favorite enterprise transformation stories globally are coming out of Europe. Nando's is a family favorite of ours. It's a beloved chicken restaurant chain started in the UK. They quickly developed a mobile ordering solution when the pandemic forced them to close their restaurants. Nando's selected Stripe as a payment solution for their click and collect offering, so their diners could still enjoy their peri-peri chicken or spicy rice during the lockdown. We're also powering new revenue models for Axel Springer's news platform in Germany, making them less reliant on online advertising and really helping them to welcome a flock of new subscribers. We are excited to help radically change the way these companies monetize and achieve their long-term goals. We continue to grow our industry expertise by partnering with European companies across many different verticals. Companies like Deliveroo and Uber in the online delivery areas, Depop in marketplaces, Wix in SaaS platforms, Klarna and AJ Bell in financial services, and Maersk and Jaguar Land Rover in logistics and transportation. We're proud and we are thankful to be the preferred business partner for these companies as they look to delight their customers not only in Europe but globally. The experience and market insights we now have by industry enables us to better serve our merchants and partners on where and how they should scale their businesses across the world. We all know that SMBs are the backbone of Europe's economy, and over 500,000 of them turned to Stripe last year to start or scale their business. And despite everything that happened in 2020, it was a record year for tech investments in Europe, with over $41 billion of investments made. There are now 115 venture-backed unicorns in Europe, and more than half of these are choosing to work with Stripe. We're working with over 8,500 of the top European startups, and we love seeing these companies develop in Europe, and we'll continue supporting them very closely. So the European tech sector is vibrant, and we're deeply committed to this next generation of fast-growing, ambitious startups. However, there are challenges to growth and expansion in Europe. 52% of European retailers say that expansion is hard. Europe's diversity is its key strength, but also its complexity that I'm sure none of you are strangers to. There are 25 currencies, over 200 different languages, and a continuously changing regulatory environment. This complexity makes Europe unique, an exciting region for us at Stripe, because there's an opportunity for simplicity. And that is where Stripe is at its best, abstracting complexity away for our users so that they can focus on their business. Matches Fashion turned to us to help with this exact challenge. They wanted to build a localized experience for their customers while optimizing for conversion. They use local payment methods, including 6 different card networks, like Cartbank Air, China UnionPay, and JCB, to offer a local payment experience. By supporting these payment methods, they saw a 2.5% uplift in authorization rate, leading to over £6 million in additional revenue. HARGREAVES LANSDOWN is an incredible digital transformation journey across multiple areas of their business. And I'm delighted to have Chris Horrell, their Chief Digital Officer, share with us how payments is playing a critical role in this journey.
Thanks, Eileen. HARGREAVES LANSDOWN is the UK's #1 direct-to-consumer investment platform. We now look after more than £130 billion for over 1.6 million clients. The client experience, the digital experience, is an incredibly important part of our offering. We pride ourselves in making things easy and simple, and ensuring we're there to help our clients whenever they need it. HL is currently undergoing significant technology transformation as we modernise our platform, shifting away from an in-house built, on-premise hosted legacy architecture to a much more open ecosystem that brings together the best of breed of technology and tools to enable us to deliver a world-class saving and investing experience to our clients. When selecting partners, it's not only about the offering here and now, but also the roadmap that's important. I want to see how a partner will continue to develop and be top of their game in the future, so we can continue offering market-leading processes and experiences to our clients in areas such as payments. And I'm absolutely confident Stripe well and truly ticks all those boxes.
Thank you, Chris, for sharing your story. I really love the obsession on client centricity, and we're excited to be on the journey with you. So we're building many exciting products here in Europe to power European business and accelerate their growth across the region and world. Let me hand over to Matt Henderson to share more about our product investments.
Thank you, Eileen, and hi everyone. I'm Matt Henderson. I'm the business lead for Stripe in the EMEA region. I began working in e-commerce 20 years ago, and at that time, one of the visions of the internet was to turn the world into a global village, a single market. So I figured globalization would be finished in no time. But of course, it turned out to be a huge challenge. 20 years later, I see how much remains to be solved. Businesses large and small still find it prohibitively costly and complex to sell in other countries. Even in the EU, which has an explicit objective of a digital single market, businesses face obstacles. At Stripe, we're building infrastructure to solve those obstacles. We have now quintupled our engineering team in Europe over the last 2 years. And beyond Europe, in Cape Town, Lagos, Dubai, and more, the footprint of Stripe supporting your business is growing like never before. We listen to EMEA merchants and study how we can help them grow. So what are we building? We're focusing on 3 areas. First, cross-border commerce. We want to help you sell seamlessly across Europe and the world by expanding our geographic coverage and bringing local payment methods to market. Second, payments performance. When your revenue is dependent on technology, tiny advantages can yield millions of euros. We're persistently working towards helping Stripe users increase conversion and reduce fraud. Third, new business models. Stripe's infrastructure removes fixed costs and allows businesses to rapidly launch new products and revenue models for incremental revenue. Let's dive deeper on cross-border commerce. Even in the most unified part of our region, the European Union, selling to customers in other countries is still a challenge. For European e-commerce overall, only 24% of sales are cross-border. But for Stripe users, cross-border sales are almost twice as high. With Stripe, you can accept payments from customers in 195 countries. Plus, you can benefit from a fully domestic acquiring service in 44 countries. And it's straightforward because we go to great lengths to build our global platform consistently. In Europe last year, we expanded into 6 markets: Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Cyprus, and Malta. And we'll complete our Croatia launch this year as well. Our latest country launch has brought Stripe to the Middle East. In April, we announced our launch into the UAE, a market that will grow by $10 billion in just the next 2 years. And we're bringing more than payments processing to the UAE. We launched a whole suite of products, including billing for recurring revenue management, Radar for fraud prevention, and Connect for platforms. Deliveroo, for example, was able to expand their services rapidly to a new market by partnering with Stripe. It was also important for us to make our offering accessible to any internet business. We're the first payment provider in the UAE where a user can launch entirely self-service. So you can get started in less than 24 hours. No in-person meetings, no reams of paperwork, no need to sit on hold on the phone. We're expanding to Africa as well. We acquired Paystack in Nigeria last year because our missions were so clearly aligned. Paystack is providing modern infrastructure for the African internet economy, and global customers like Uber and FedEx are already working with Paystack today. Here to give an update on their progress is Shola Akinlade, the founder and CEO of Paystack.
Hi everyone, my name is Shola Akinlade. I'm the CEO at Paystack. And at Paystack, we're building a modern payments infrastructure for Africa. We are Stripe for Africa. I'm excited to tell you about some of the interesting things we've been working on in the last few months. But before then, let me tell you a little about Africa. Africa's population is projected to reach 1.5 billion people. By 2050, Nigeria will have the third largest population in the world. Online commerce is growing twice as fast as the rest of the world. And that is why at Paystack, we're doing everything we can to help people start and scale businesses in Africa. And we're making progress. We're live in Nigeria, Ghana, and just launched in South Africa. This means we can help accept payments from customers across all payment methods in these countries. So cards, bank transfers, and mobile money. We're ramping up our country expansion, so we should actually announce more countries soon. We've paid a lot of attention to our reliability. If a transaction fails at Paystack, chances are that it won't work anywhere else. Over 70% of our refunds are delivered instantly, and the rest are delivered within a few days. Our team is also scaling significantly. We've grown from having over 110 people at the beginning of the year to now having over 160 people, and we've become a more distributed and diverse company. We have people from 17 nationalities and counting working from over 11 countries. And we've set up engineering hubs in Nigeria, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates. We're looking forward to 2021. We've been working on a lot of things, and we can't wait to share them with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Shola. I'm so excited about opportunities in Africa, and we will be connecting Stripe and Paystack infrastructure more seamlessly in the future. Now, let's talk about payments performance. In the keynote, we shared how Stripe is optimizing across the conversion funnel, and for Europe specifically, we are increasing payments performance in 3 ways. First, investing in local payment methods. Second, building conversion optimization features. And third, improving authentication and reducing fraud. In Europe, availability of local payment methods is a crucial aspect of the top of the funnel, since only 45% of European transaction volume is on cards. Up to 16% of shoppers abandon their cart if their preferred payment option isn't available. Over the last year, we've launched local European methods like Bax Direct Debit and global Buy Now Pay Later methods like ClearPay. We're adding to this list by making Klarna accessible everywhere in Europe and launching Bleak, the fastest growing payment method in Poland, in the coming months. We're also adding more traditional payment methods like bank transfers with reconciliation reporting, a great way to make invoice payments. And we're not just accepting these payment methods, we implement them in a way that reduces latency and improves conversion. And we're making them much easier for customers to adopt and activate with updates to our payment interfaces like Stripe Checkout and Stripe Elements, which you heard about in the keynote. When the champagne brand Taittinger added Ideal and So Forth to accept reservations for their cellar, they immediately saw an increase in reservations from people in the Netherlands and Germany. We saw similar effects for turning on Bancontact in Belgium, GiroPay in Germany, and EPS in Austria. On average, these merchants also saved 40 basis points on transaction costs. So more revenue and lower costs. Another way we're improving performance is through maximizing card acceptance rates. Stripe's adaptive acceptance product uses machine learning models to instantly optimize authorization messages and make smarter retry decisions. We keep improving it year after year, combining local and global insight. Over the past year, adaptive acceptance recovered $3.4 billion in payments volume for Stripe users. Now, preventing fraud is also important for conversion. Over 39% of European retailers experienced a spike in fraud attempts during the pandemic. But while others saw an increase in fraud attacks, Stripe users with Radar saw a 26% year-over-year decline in dispute rates. The more fraud Radar sees, the smarter it gets at tackling fraud patterns. Our approach to SCA also helps reduce fraud and improve conversion rates. Strong customer authentication is a requirement to have an extra layer of authentication for many online payments, and enforcement has been increasing rapidly since the beginning of the year. Our SCA engine can identify if the payment requires SCA or not, optimize cardholder user experience by applying exceptions, and keep adapting to reflect differences among card issuers. So after switching to Stripe, online stationery retailer Papier experienced a 1.6% increase in conversion due to these SCA authentication improvements. Now let's talk about new business models and the way they open up revenue streams for users. 44% of European businesses that stayed stable during the pandemic say that adopting a new business model was the chief factor in their success. As you heard in the keynote, Stripe is building a wide suite of products to help customers build new business models. Our software can help you quickly adopt subscription, platform, and omni-channel business models. Calafray, a French wholesale food distributor, used Stripe Connect to pivot to a robust direct-to-consumer platform in just 10 days. This allowed them to support over 80,000 shoppers simultaneously. Here are some new products we're launching in Europe to help businesses adapt. We're excited to share that Stripe Terminal is expanding availability in Europe, helping companies consolidate their online and offline sales. Beginning this summer, we'll begin opening up our public beta in the UK, Ireland, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, and additional European markets throughout the year. Faster access to money is also a challenge for those that operate multi-sided platforms. We're launching instant payouts and multi-currency payouts this year so that you can help your users be happy with rapid access to their funds. We also launched issuing to Europe. Creating and distributing new cards in Europe has long been so complex and so opaque that only a handful of companies could ever justify doing it. But with Stripe issuing, we've made it simple, secure, and fast. It used to take months to create new cards in Europe. Now it takes just 2 days. VAT and sales tax support has been one of the most frequently requested features by European businesses on Stripe. That is why we've built Stripe Tax, which lets you calculate and collect sales tax, VAT, and GST globally. You can learn more about Stripe Tax and see a demo in our Revenue Tools talk. So we've covered a lot. By expanding our payments coverage with engineers here on the ground in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, we are removing barriers to cross-border commerce. Our local teams are making dozens of optimizations that add up to big increases in payments performance for our customers here in the region. And we continue to build out our capabilities and make business models like marketplaces, platforms, and SaaS significantly easier to adopt and operate. And that's just the beginning. I'm energized by the work ahead to make cross-border selling powerful and accessible and finishing the job of internet globalization. We're looking forward to sharing more updates from our region over the coming months. On behalf of Eileen, Shola, and the rest of the Stripe team in EMEA, thank you for your time and joining sessions today.